Welcome, everybody, to the JCC Chicago Film Festival. And tonight we are going to be discussing the film Dead Sea Guardians. And I am really fortunate to be joined by the filmmakers and one of the stars of the film. I've got Ido Glass, Yoav Kleinerman, and Oded Rahav. And this is a fantastic film about the Dead Sea, which is just an amazing body of water in Israel. And it has been declining in how much water is going to it for years, and it's become an ecological disaster. What this film is trying to do is show the story, and I'm sure you've seen it now, but the story of Ido and his friends that he meets to swim across the Dead Sea and back, which had never been done, to bring attention to what's going on here. And it's more than just talking about the ecology. It's talking about how the Jews, Palestinians, Jordanians, how we can all work together, how we all need to work together to make this, to fix this problem and fix our problems politically. And I think it's a very, very pertinent. Obviously, there's always things going on with Israel. We have a lot going on right now with Ukraine and Russia. So we need to think out of the box. But that's why I'm so happy to be able to speak with you all about this. And just to start off, Ido and Yoav, what was the inspiration to create the film?
Okay, so since I was a child, I've remembers that I used to go to the Dead Sea, and it was one of my hiding place, the place I used to go and love to be there. And now when I have small kids, I'm still going there. The Dead Sea look different, but I'm still going to this place. And when a couple of years ago, Oded called me and asked me if I can come voluntarily to shoot one day just for a campaign before the swim. And we drive together to the Dead Sea. It's like 2 hours drive. And he told me what is his vision and what he wants to do and why he's risking his life. Mm-hmm. And I thought that I have to join this effort. I thought this story must be told. And this was the inspiration for he's just, I was already convinced. All you need to say is just give me the opportunity and to do this film. And I'm so happy we done it. And actually, we are still working on this film, because show it all over the world is one of our vision and one of our requests in this film.
And have you had the opportunity to speak with many people around the world at this point about it? And have you seen it inspire change?
We've seen it go bigger and bigger. We had actually communities around the story and around the film and around the effort that Oded is leading to save the sea, to make the effort possible. If may I say, Oded, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, I think that the whole idea is in this kind of activity is creating ripples. And in that sense, the movie is creating ripples. And we already see these ripples because it was filmed in Holland, in the Netherlands, yeah, and it was in Germany and in France and obviously in Israel. So once people watch the movie, all of a sudden they understand. Okay, so you have the data here and there, but when you watch the movie, boom, it falls on you and you suddenly see the images of, and it becomes personal. Yeah. You understand it, and then people want to join in. So now I'm working, as part of the doing is building this community on a global scale, bringing people together. So my vision is to create this, 500,000 people that are aware of the sea, and hopefully will make a change.
Well, you made a change for me. I haven't been to Israel since 2004, and I need to get back. when I've been there, there was one time I've been to the Dead Sea a couple of times, and it's just amazing. The last time I think I was at the Dead Sea was 2001, actually, so it's even longer. And I stayed at a hotel. It was beautiful. It was just one of the most fun weekends I can remember, really. And just such beauty around there. But if I went back there today, would I be able to recognize it from 21 years ago?
No way.
No way.
When we was child, and Gedi was on the shore of the sea. Now you need to get a tractor and go by 5 kilometers to the beach. It's an amazing difference.
So the hotels that were, I know that in the film, you talk about the hotels that were on the Jordanian side that are now not close to the sea. And you show different things about how some of the roads are falling apart. But the main chain hotels and this Israeli side, are they not on the water anymore either?
Okay, so.
Yeah, you want to explain? I will explain. Please. Okay, so there's a difference between, and here's the thing. This is the thing. People should understand the Dead Sea has changed dramatically forever and ever. There's the northern part and the southern part. The southern part is where the hotels are. The southern part, the water comes from the Dead Sea Works. So they actually, pump from the northern part and bring it to the southern part, which are pools, artificial pools done by the Dead Sea Works. So they do not suffer in a way. They still are alive and kicking. So the hotels, funny as it sounds, are looking lavish and they're okay. But the northern side is pumped up of its water, and the decline is around 1.2 meters a year. Okay, so annually you lose 1.2 meters. So if you haven't been here for 20 years, you will not recognize those places. Add to this the fact that there are 7,000 sinkholes around the northern part. So most of the beaches are, you cannot reach them. You cannot reach them. There's
no public beaches anymore. Yeah.
There's just one public beach up in the north. That's it.
Do most Israelis know what's going on? Wow. So this is even.
I think they start now because it's maybe because of the movie, and maybe it's many articles in the newspapers now that's dealing with the Dead Sea. They're starting to know now what's happening. And what's happening is very dramatic and very dramatic drying up.
The tragedy in our area that there is always something more urgent to take care of. So there's always kind of a war in the background or in the future. So this is the reason when people hear about it, they forget about this. And what we are trying to create, it's like the film, we see it as a launching pad to a big campaign that will change the people's mind about this place, that it will be in their mind. And it's much more than this, because Oded gathered around him a group of experts, ecological experts, campaigners, and so on. And they have a solution to this situation, a real solution that science people find out how they can stop this dramatic disappearing of the sea.
Why not?
I think that in a way, the situation of the Dead Sea is a reflection of, our society. And I think it's the modern society. It's not just Israel, the Palestinian, the Jordanian, it's us, Western society, that, we couldn't care less about these places. Those that are caring, is a minority of people that sees it and say, what can we do with it? And for a fact, I wouldn't let it, die. I think I'll have to keep on holding this torch and creating optimism around it, because if the Dead Sea shall prevail, I think, the society shall prevail. And it was the late, great Golda Meir that said that pessimism is a luxury a Jew cannot afford himself. And therefore, I think we should stay optimistic on this issue.
That's a great quote. I mean, and you've been thinking about, I'm sure, how do I bring attention to this, and how did you come up with the concept to swim across the Dead Sea? Like, were you thinking of other ideas, and were you in touch with EcoPeace Middle East before the swim to try to come up with some of these ideas?
Okay, so prior to that swim, we swam from Cyprus to Israel, easy, 400 kilometers, a 6-day relay swim.
Oh my God.
And we did so to raise awareness for the use of plastics and to bring a law in Israel of the overuse of plastic, and that people would pay for plastic bags, and they did. So once we understood that swimming is a meaning to an end, or a way to convey a message, soon after that swim was on 2014, the group of swimmers said, okay, there's this Dead Sea, which is dying on an alarming pace. And so, in a conversation, someone said, let's swim it. And swimming the Dead Sea, how come, no way. And I said, yeah, let's try. What can we lose? Maximum we'll die. But
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And so we embarked on this mission, and full force, we went to see how we can do it. It's a very, how would I say, it's not an easy task. Don't try it at home. Don't try to swim in the salty waters such as the Dead Sea. But that was a way to convey a message that we say, okay, we're taking that risk. We aim to bring it to, on the table and fight for that cause. And when I looked for partners, the only partner that was relevant is the EcoPeace NGO, which is a trilateral organization working in Jordan, in the Palestinian territories, and in Israel. And yeah, they joined in automatically. And from that point on, we worked together, still striving to make a change.
That's amazing. And this film is able to keep that swim going and keep the awareness going. And like you said, ripples and go back to the water. But, was it difficult though to film in Jordan? And, you see the meetings that you had with Munquith Mehar and the other people that were in Jordan. Was it uncomfortable? Did people, are you almost look like do people look at him almost like a traitor to be collaborating on this type of project with an Israeli?
So you probably know that our neighborhood is very tough. There's a lot of hostility and suspiciousness, and we had to be very sensitive when we shoot. So part of the shooting, we use a local crew. Yeah. It was very challenging to send a director order or explanation how to do it from far away. It was difficult, and in any case, without any connection to the people who shoot this scene, you can see how much it's difficult to Munquith to cooperate with Israeli. How much is difficult even inside his family. How much tension it's bring to his life. And it's very brave choice that he done for the sake of the area, not only the Dead Sea, for the sake of the area.
Yeah.
So, and also for Yusuf, it was also very complicated as well,
Probably even more so.
Sorry?
Probably even more so.
I agree.
When he finished the swim, the Palestinian intelligence take him to investigation. Oh. And he was during all the time that he was participating in this swim, he was very proud of being Palestinian. He feel like he's presenting his people. Yeah. He's presenting his flag. And he told me that when he's finished this investigation, the officer that speak with him stood up and salute him. Oh. He was respecting what he was doing, and he's really individual, in the way he's thinking. And the fact that he was the only Palestinian that joined this swim. We tried to recruit Palestinian for many ways, for many connections that we know and he know. And he was the only brave person who joined this swim.
He's a quiet hero.
He is.
Yeah. To get back to Munkweth, though, you know, it was when you get the call in the film where you're allowed to make the swim, but he has a back problem. What's the real story behind that? Was he pressured not to be able to swim, and did you talk to him after? What happened?
What I'm thinking that he was under a lot of pressure. It's a pressure from a physical point of view. It's very difficult to swim in the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
Well, that is humble, but if you swallow a 1 cup of a small amount of water, you can die. Yeah. And and you need to be in a physical condition, very good physical. They get a practice for 1 year to this swim. So I think it's the physical pressure and also the political pressure was give him at last the idea not to come. That's what I'm thinking. It was very mixed.
You know, Ido and I had a lot of argue where we were editing this film. What was the main reason that he didn't come? I believe that Munkweth used to stand in a big, in front of the TV, in front of everyone, and tell everyone that we should cooperate with Israeli. This was his work for 20 years. He never hid behind his beliefs.
Yeah.
So maybe it was pressure tied to him that really hurt his back, but I truly believe that he wanted to come and wasn't able physically to come. Maybe because of the pressure, something happened to him physically, but I truly believe that he wanted to come to this swim.
And have you seen him since that, though, in person?
Yes.
Yeah, he came a lot of time to visit us in Israel, and it's all the time was in very good atmosphere around it. He's very warm people.
Also in the film, the last scene when we're standing on the bridge, it was like half a year, I think, after the swim, something like this. So we stay in touch all the time. Actually, even now, just today, he wrote to me something in Facebook. So we're in touch with him. He's now in Iraq.
In Baghdad,
In Baghdad. So things change here in this neighbor, but we're in touch.
What is he doing in Baghdad?
By the way, I chose not to deal with that question. Not then, not now. I took it as is. I mean, I didn't have the time, the capacity, the ability at that time when, you know, such a mission to bring it in and, you know, to deal with it. And up until now, I still don't have some kind of an idea what happened then. And I just let it go. And I respect that decision of his, because I had to keep my eyes on the prize and on that swim. So you cannot involve, emotions when you're in such a mission. You must understand that the swim overall, there were 28 swimmers from 9 countries. There were 100 personnel working for that swim, boats, all the logistics. So you can't go too emotional on that one decision, which is a great decision by him, but you're on a mission. The clock is ticking.
Well, when one of the people in the film, after you tell everybody, okay, I've got good news, we're allowed to go, and he says, you brought us all out here, and you tell, and
just imagine. So that was a South African. Imagine. So for 18 months, I had to hold that secret. Only 2 people knew about it. Only 2 people knew about the fact that we did not have a permission. Wow. So just imagine. So it was exactly as is, as you saw it. And they were amazed. How dare I, bring them all the way. There were people from South Africa, from New Zealand, from Denmark, from Spain, from Norway, from Wales, from England, and so forth, obviously for Palestinians and so on. And they were amazed that I kept that secret. Just imagine the burden of keeping that secret and always thinking maybe, just maybe, somewhere at midnight, we'll have to switch to plan B.
Yeah.
That was the only moment I cried in 18 months when, you know, they broke the news that we can head to Jordan. It was a very emotional moment.
Did you almost think about not saying anything to anybody about it? So to not let that on, or it was just such a wonderful,
No,
like you
it was
had
bigger than
to
me.
tell
It was
everyone.
much
Yeah.
bigger than me. You know, it was
Yeah.
a gigantic moment. I don't know what's the proper word for that specific moment. But once they break the news and someone called me from the border, just imagine, say, Oded, it's official. Yeah, it's not just Munke. They say you have a green light. It's not a simple moment.
What's so interesting is, you're bringing attention to the Dead Sea and the ecological disaster of what's happening. But what else you're bringing attention to is the fact that Israel has peace with Jordan. But this is the type of peace it has with Jordan, where it's so uncomfortable to even swim it's a peaceful swim to bring attention to an ecological front. So, I think that that's something that people need to realize, and it's such a contentious neighborhood. How do you, this isn't one of what I was originally thinking of asking, but like, how do you deal with that type of tension in living in that neighborhood all the time, where even going for a swim like this can be so challenging?
Yoav and Ido, can I answer that?
Please
Yeah,
do.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so first of all, we must remember we're not Switzerland yet, and nor the Netherlands or Norway or Scandinavia. We're still in this neighborhood, and there's still a border, and there's still a lot of tension. And once crossing the border here, you're still crossing a border. Okay, so the Dead Sea is still a border, and when you cross it, up until now, it was because of refugees or, wounded soldiers or something that has to deal with the army. And once you cross the border, it's still a border. So no matter tension or not, it's still that border. And when crossing the border, is something inherent with us. Crossing the border from here to there or back from there here, it's still something that is not taken lightly. It's not, it doesn't come automatically. It doesn't come naturally, crossing that border. And I'm trying to be very gentle with the words, but we're still in a kind of an interesting place where you cross a border. Whoa, now that's the army. Now there's the regulation, and hold your horses, and it has to be like we do. And each side holds his own cards, and there's all, the rules. You need names, and whoa, I can give you the whole list, even filming on that side, and or God forbid having a drone on that side. No way. And that what it happened that morning. Someone said, let's go with the drone, and that was about 2 hours before the swim, and they almost, we had to abort the swim just because he brought a drone with him. So there you have it. So in certain places it's peace, but it's not peace like peace and quiet. It's peace.
Yeah. I remember, actually, it just comes to mind the first time I was in the Dead Sea, and I was floating, and I remember Israeli fighter jets flying over the Dead Sea. I don't know if it was they're on a mission or a practice or something, but it's constant reminder of where you are, I'd have to say. Now, we talked a little bit about Yusuf and the where he was interrogated after. What was that? What's it been like now since the film has come out, where people know what that he took part in the swim? Has it changed any perception of, has it I guess allowed for more collaboration, or just has it opened up conversation to help bring the communities together at all?
Well,
it's kind of a wishful thinking of us, but it's not happening in the fields right now.
Yeah.
We want to screen this movie in the village of Yusuf. We can't do it till now. So I don't know how the Palestinian society is react to this kind of movie, or the איך אומרים השתתפות?
Participants.
The participation of Yusuf in this event. I don't know.
But I can say that Yusuf came with us to a few places where we show the film, and in the Israeli side, he's very lovable, you know, and everyone clapping their hands and love him. And just like 2 weeks ago, you done another swim, Oded? It was 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, and he joined as well. Sorry?
10 days ago, yeah.
But maybe you tell what you done.
Yeah, 10 days ago, we swam again from the estuary, you know, from the Jordan River to one of the northern beaches, and I've called Yusuf to join me, and, you know, he's like a hero, but it's just one person. Now, for that swim, we had friends and family of his coming along, because it's the northern part of the Dead Sea where people from Jericho can join in and watch. And he was very like kind of he was honored there by his people, but it was, you know, the intimacy was there. You could see that it was very much intimate and was just friends and family. It's a good question, Aaron. I don't know, you know, you still don't find that attentiveness on the Palestinian side nor the Jordanian side. We're still struggling, and, you know, I can kind of understand the Jordanian Palestinian side. There's too much tension from that side, and they're struggling. So talking about environment on that side is not something that comes natural. You know, we, after all, I humbly say, we're privileged. We're a privileged society, so we can have these swims and you know, look at how to save the environment. They're struggling. So you have to be very humble and full of compassion to understand. And maybe one day, you know, somewhere, sometime, in a different era.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. We need young people. We need young thinkers out of the box, thinking of environment. It doesn't come easy.
People like Oded, people like Oded and Yusuf and Munket. That's what we need.
Well, I think it's even amazing, though. I mean, he has such, you could tell he has so much passion to make this happen. It's not just the swim, that he was passing out and throwing up pretty much during the swim, and he still kept going. I mean, he was so determined to make this happen. Had he thought of doing something like this in the past? What is his history? Has he been involved with anything like publicly, or is this just his own private struggle?
Yusuf used to work as a lifeguard for 30 years in the beach. He's one of the first lifeguards in the public beach in the Dead Sea. So every day he swam, and he told us that he has this dream that one day he can swim to the other side. And then he saw this group of Israelis practicing with this mask, and he came and asked him. And we have this scene in this film. This is the first time where they meet, and they ask them about why they use this mask and what they are planning. And then they tell him, please join us to this swim. So they actually make his dream reality.
We actually met him. He was a lifeguard on that.
That was the first time.
Yeah, exactly. He was a lifeguard. Yeah, you saw it on the movie live. We saw it for the first time. He saw us from the lifeguard. He said, well, what are you doing? And I told him, we're going to swim from Jordan to Israel. He said, what? That's my dream. So I said, okay, so here we are to make your dream come true. And ours, obviously. And we'll do it jointly. And that's where, you know, we started to arrange all the, you know, I won't tell everything that is in the movie. For those who haven't watched the movie, just watch it and you'll see it for your own eyes. Yeah, that's how it started. Simple.
Oded, you seem to just have these, I don't know so much about you. You know, I saw the film, I read a little bit about you online, but you just seem to have like such a drive and a creative spark for solutions. How do you think you got to that point? What made you creative like that?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't want to get emotional. You know, I grew here in Israel. I'm a son of Holocaust survivors. my father and my grandfather built this country, and I have a responsibility, and I don't like to see what I'm seeing. So when you see something is broken, you get up in the morning and you fix it. Simple. That's how I've been brought up. And this is my passion, and I won't let it go until I fix it. So it's easy to onboard people because I don't take nothing for myself. See, it's not about me. When we swam with these people from all over the world and they landed in Israel, and they're all kind of brave swimmers. They crossed this Atlantic and the ocean and that ocean and this ocean. And then I told them, listen, guys, this swim, it's not about you. It's about the dying sea. And there was this silent moment when, it's not about the medals and the Guinness Book of, record. And it wasn't about records. It's about telling a story about the dying sea. And it was a life-changing event for those guys. Imagine, we're still friends on a daily basis. Just imagine. And they said, wow, we didn't even know that this thing can be done. And people can make a change. Okay, so people can, as Mother Teresa says, you can cast a stone and make ripples. So that's my inner, generator, to bring people on board and say, hey, we broke it, let's fix it. Easy. It's our duty, it's our responsibility. There's a whole, we didn't, there's a saying, we did not inherit this world. We borrowed it from our grandchildren. We didn't inherit it from our ancestors. We borrowed it from our grandchildren. And that's the responsibility. It's a moral responsibility. So you wake up early in the morning, an hour before even, and you start working on fixing. That's called Tikkun Olam. It's ours. That's Tikkun Olam, basically.
I want to add something because you don't see it really in the film, but Oded is given a lot of days working on his Tikkun Olam, and nobody pay him, and he's doing everything on his own time and risk and money. And I think this is one of the reasons he's generating this energy around him, and so many people trying to help his vision to come true.
It's beautiful, and I know it's inspiring change with people, and it's so important. You talk about, though, Oded, you're doing this on your own, but I know in order to make a film like this, you need financial support. So what are some of the organizations that have helped support you guys to make this film?
Of course, Sundance Institute is support us from the beginning, almost, with the Skold Foundation. And we do a very large campaign in Israel, a public head start for this film, and we get the money for this film from the people in Israel.
Crowdfunding from the people from Israel, and later on, BBC Arabic and Arte, and one of the TV station from Netherlands, I forgot the name. EO brought the film, but we make this film with really small money we have, amount of money we have, and basically it's happened only because of the people they want to support the idea, want to support this vision.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that they did, because I think it's something that's going to get out there and bring up, it's not just the Dead Sea. This isn't a story just of the Dead Sea. This is a story of places all around the world that are similar, that ecologically are dying and have political problems. I mean, and it's just so to the point today where we deal with such a horror of what's going on in Ukraine. And I mean, that's just one example. There's so many examples around the world of places where we need to figure out how to work together and realize that we share the same, space, and we play in the same playground. But how can we use this incredible story to bring people together in this era that we've entered into? I mean, how do we inspire people to go big in their imaginations? I mean, it's not just where you can think, okay, we've got to have some kind of negotiation, but no, let's have a swim across the Dead Sea. How do we inspire more people?
That's a very good question.
Make a movie about it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Watch the movie. It's a good question. I think that first of all, swim is a nice way to convey a message. You know, you can always burn tires and you can go for, you know, rallies and so on. A swim is a nice, I think, way to demonstrate. Okay, so I won't demonstrate in front of the parliament. I will do a swim. And with swims, it happens two things. First of all, it's a kind of sport and everyone is almost naked. You have nothing to hide. You're here for a good cause, and people are drawn to it because while swimming, you convey that message. You bring on that message, and it's a long, tedious, you know, mission because eventually you have to onboard people. So my goal is that by the end of this year, we'll have 500,000 Dead Sea Guardians. Okay, so I think that they should all go into our website, the Dead Sea Guardians or DSG Project. Please, if you can add that, it's called dsgproject.com. Sign in, and we'll keep in touch with you as we go along, and you know, update you what is our next step in order to bring this critical mass towards the fact that today, even I've met, you know, people of parliament today. I just come now from a meeting with the strategy of the MP of the environmental MP in Israel in order to end this saga in the coming months. They say, hey, listen, enough is enough. The Jordan River, the Dead Sea, we should fix it. We should fix it now. We cannot wait, even not one day. It has to happen now.
We can.
Now we're building, you know, the milestone to get done with it. We have all the personnel, we have all the data, the figures, the numbers, agro-tourism, you know, all the sources of income, the return on the investment. Eventually, the funny thing is just a matter of money. Just imagine such a stupid issue, money. With money, you can fix this place. So if we know we will fix it in 20 years, because we know we will fix it in 20 years, why can't we fix it now? We should fix it now. And then in 20 years, we'll be ever so happy and prosperous, us and the whole region. When I'm saying the region, I'm talking about Israel, Jordan, the Palestinians, the Syrians, the Lebanese. They all deserve better life. Because if they will suffer, Germany will suffer, the Netherlands will suffer, Europe will suffer, the US will suffer, they all will suffer, the whole place will burn. So, you know, you have to think about the equation. In this neighborhood, it's always about the equation. And I think we can pretty much, with people from all over the world, I'm not counting only on the Israelis, no way. In a way, I'm a bit fed up. I wouldn't say disappointed because people have their daily jobs and, you know, tasks. So, you know, the Dead Sea, where do I put it in the list? Right. So for me, it's here. Okay, it's number one in the list because it reflects our daily well-being on a, you know, global scale, on a society scale, on an environment scale, and on a neighborhood scale.
I think that's an absolutely good point. It reflects the health of the society based on the health of the environment. And I think that's what's so key.
Now we know it.
Yes.
You can't deny it anymore.
No, our eyes have been opened. And what is next for all of you in terms of what you're doing? Is it to then promote this, or do you have other films or other things that we should be aware of to take note of?
You're asking me or you have? Go for it.
I think you ask all of us, no?
Yeah, all of you.
Yeah. So I'm now working on a new film, but it's a very small one for the TV, for the Israeli TV. Generally, I'm totally inside the Dead Sea Guardians film. We try only in the next couple months. There is 9 festivals around the world that are going to show this film. We try to sell this film all over the world, and we try to accept the film, work on the Dead Sea, איך אני אומר, המטה להצלת ים המלח,
The movement, yeah, it's kind of a movement, we should call it. Headquarters. It's a
The
headquarters.
movement for 7DC, so it's also taking a lot of time and attention for me, and so I'm inside this film yet, you can say.
It's
Totally immersed.
Aaron, I could say it's contagious because I can see on your face that you're inside as well. So
Yes.
people are all becoming a Dead Sea Guardian. It's a world pandemic. Beware. That's the world pandemic. Everyone
That's
wants
one
to
I
become
could
a Dead Sea
catch.
Guardian.
I'm okay with this variant.
I can tell you that on my part, I'm keeping my eyes on the prize, and I'm working on this thing of saving the Jordan River and the Dead Sea. It's not my day job, but it's becoming what I'm doing. It's me and my family. We're into it. And whoever my meeting is into it. And I'm trying to keep this, this fire, this light. And from this point, I'm calling upon you and your people, whoever wants to join in, just send me a note. We need people, we need ammunition, we need funding, we need creativity, we need artists, we need out-of-the-box thinkers, we need visionaries, we need whatever to join in and say, hey, I have an idea, I can help you on this side, because it has to be a conversation on a global scale. This is the lowest place on the planet. There's one place like this.
Beautiful.
It's
healthy.
biblical, it's biblical, it's beautiful, it's healthy. Highest percentage of oxygen. Did you know that, Aaron?
I did not know that. Wow.
Okay, the lowest place as opposed to the Himalayas.
Yeah.
The lowest place, highest percentage of oxygen. You just need to come here and breathe. And then you get out of the water with a smile. Why? Because you're full of oxygen. You're a happy man. And we need people to join in and become a Dead Sea Guardian. And it's not about me, it's about us. And everyone could have a part in this story, just to tell his grandchild, I was part of that mission of saving a sea, and together we did it. Why not? Success has many fathers. So be it.
It
And
has
mothers.
ripples for more success.
True.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow morning and the day after. If you're
Okay.
asking me.
And Ido, you as well?
I'm just concentrating now because we are flying tonight to Santa Barbara to the festival.
Oh,
So this is our next mission, to be there and to be aware. And I'm a great believer in good stories, especially stories that can influence and make our society much better. So this is our next mission.
well, it's a wonderful story, and I'm fortunate to have been able to watch it, and even more fortunate to be able to speak with you all. I recommend everybody, if you haven't watched the film yet, go see it now. Dead Sea Guardians. Go to a film festival, watch it. Go, watch it here at the JCC Chicago Jewish Film Festival. And go to dsgproject.com and sign up and be a part of the movement, because I think it's so important on so many different levels. But I want to thank you all for taking your time to speak with us today, and keep going.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
Aaron.
much, Aaron. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. God bless. Thank you.